If you're thinking of moving to Chicago, well, this video is for you. Today we are going to go over the 5 pros and 5 cons of living here in Chicago. Let's get into it. My name is Kenny Naslund. I'm a real estate agent here in Chicago and the Chicago suburbs. If you're thinking of making a move, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. Happy to help or answer any questions that you may have. All my information is in the description below. Pro number 1, Chicago is a walkable city. Whether you're looking to go shopping, or you're going grocery shopping, or you want to go for a walk, or you want to have entertainment or dining, or go to a club, or whatever it is, you're always within walking distance. And that is one of the greatest things about Chicago, is you don't have to worry about a car. So much so that they have the subway, they have buses, and they have the train. So wherever you want to go, whether it's local or out to the suburbs, Chicago got you covered. Pro number 2, Chicago is a very diverse city, and it is a very big city, one of the biggest ones in the United States. Chicago is made up of 77 different neighborhoods. Now, I have personally visited a lot of those neighborhoods, and I can tell you, I haven't even scratched the surface of visiting all of them. And you will find all walks of life because it's such a big city. You'll find a lot of communities, whether they're coming from Europe, or they're coming from Asia, or they're coming from South America or Eastern Europe, you name it. You will find every type of person, type of food, type of culture that you can imagine. And it's just such an amazing and refreshing thing to be amidst so many different kinds of people in just one particular city. Now, because of all this, you kind of have to make a decision on where you're going to live, because there's so many types of varieties that you're going to choose from when you're living in the city. You kind of have to think about where you're going to go. So for example, if you're looking kind of more high rises around you, you're looking for more hustle and bustle, and kind of there's a lot of livelihood to the city in the area that you want to live in, maybe River North is kind of the area you want to look into. Maybe that you're looking for something a little bit more kind of cool, chill, hip. That may be kind of somewhere in the Wicker Park area, maybe West Loop for you. So it kind of depends on your taste. Or even if you want a more laid back, kind of almost suburban, but not suburban feel, but you have a lot of tree-lined streets, you have a lot of parks. Hyde Park might be an option for you. It's a lot more laid back. You're still in the city, but it has a lot to offer, and it's very close to downtown. So depending on what you want and whatever flavor you're looking for, definitely do your research. You can always ask me questions, but just to kind of give you a flavor, those are 3 kind of different areas of town with 3 different types of style of living that Chicago has to offer. And I can tell you it has a lot and a ton more than that. Pro number 3, Chicago has a ton of things to do, and especially in the summertime. During the summer, people love to flock to the beach. They go to Lake Michigan. Now, if you've never seen Lake Michigan, I can tell you it is so big you would think it's an ocean because you can't even see it to the other side. But people like to flock there because there's a ton of beaches in Chicago. You can go there, whether you want to suntan, or you want to swim, you want to go boating, whether you want to go on the Lakefront Trail. It is literally an 18-mile trail all along Lakeshore Drive that you are right by Lake Michigan. It is beautiful. Whether you want to walk it, or you want to bike it, you have those options. Additionally, Chicago has food festivals and art festivals and music festivals when the summertime comes around, and they close off streets and they get barricaded. People go out and have a great time. One of my personal favorites is the Taste of Chicago. They literally closed the downtown area on Lakeshore Drive in the Loop, and you can hang out, try all kinds of different foods, and just have a really good time. It's blocked off. Walk from vendor to vendor to vendor, go to the lake, have a good time. Whatever you're looking for, you're most likely going to find it there. Now, if all that doesn't really kind of satisfy your needs, then Chicago offers 67 museums throughout the city, 600 parks, believe it or not. Yes, I said 600. And you have the Lincoln Park Zoo, which is absolutely free. You can walk through, you can see all kinds of animals. You can zip right back into downtown and just go for a stroll. It's really magnificent. Chicago has so much to offer, and there's a great light show in the wintertime in Lincoln Park. You will always find something to do, whether it's winter or summer, but by far my favorite are the summer months because there's so much more to do outdoors. Pro number 4, which I kind of alluded to a little bit earlier, sprinkled it in, is food. Chicago is known for its food. It's a foodie city hub. People love it. It has a lot of great restaurants. We have 22 Michelin star rated restaurants. We have over 7,300 restaurants in the area. And any type of food you can imagine, want, desire, you're gonna find it in Chicago. It is so diverse with food, and it is so it's such a privilege to be able to try so many things that you may have never ever tried to before, and really they take so much pride here in Chicago in delivering amazing food. I will say it is very likely to almost slim to none that you will be disappointed with most restaurant options that you choose. It is a must on your list to try some of the staple restaurants, but of course just venture off and try all kinds of different foods. You will not be disappointed. Pro number 5, if you're a sports fan, you're in luck. Chicago has 2 baseball teams. They have 1 football team, they have 1 hockey team, and they have 1 basketball teams. So we have the Cubs, we have the White Sox, which are both baseball teams. You have the Bears, the football team, the Blackhawks, which are the hockey team, and the Chicago Bulls. If you've never heard the Bulls, please type up Michael Jordan in Google search and you'll definitely find out who the Chicago Bulls are. No matter the season, spring, summer, fall, winter, Chicago has you covered sports all year round. You can go and attend them or you can go watch them, whatever works for you. It is a hub for sports and Chicagoans absolutely love it. If you've gotten any value from this video so far, can you hit the like button? And if you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button for me. Con number 1. Let's start with the obvious, is winter. The winter is harsh in Chicago. If you've never experienced it, I do not wish it upon you. I can tell you from experience, I've lived in a few cold climates and Chicago takes the cake. It gets super cold here in the winter. Is usually during the months of December through February. It can be in the 30s, 20s, it can go below 0, it can, with the wind chill, it can be -20. It's even gotten to -40 where they've literally shut down the city for a couple of days. It's not the norm, it doesn't last forever, don't get freaked out. It'll last probably for a few weeks and then it'll kind of normalize and be in the teens or 20s, which is still fairly cold, but I can tell you it feels a lot better than -20 degrees outside. You will feel it immediately. Your face won't feel like it's freezing off literally. So winters here can be harsh. Also, it gets pretty dark in the winter here. I mean, usually daylight's kind of gone by 4 p.m. and, you know, getting it back up around 7 a.m. or so, 6:30-ish in the morning. So you're not getting a ton of sunlight. So you may be commuting to work in the dark and you may be coming home in the dark, and that can take a toll on you where the evenings feel really long. But then as February and March start passing by and the days are slowly getting longer and the winter's starting to taper off and things are coming back to life, it's all great again, don't worry. The winters are not fun, but you know what? There's a ton of things to do in Chicago regardless. You have all these museums and you have all the malls you can go to. There's all kinds of winter sports that you can do. There's a ton of things that you can keep you entertained despite the harsh weather that Chicago offers. Con number 2, Chicago has high cost of living. I mean, it generally kind of comes with the territory of living in a big city. And of course, it is not nearly as bad as New York City or Los Angeles. But Chicago is 20% higher than the national average in the US for cost of living. And housing is a whopping 52% higher. But there's no escaping it. If you want to live in the big city and you want to enjoy all the benefits that it offers, it does come with that cost. Con number 3, Chicago's traffic and congestion. It is no joke. They actually take the cake. They are coming in at the number 1 place in the United States for the most congestion and number 2 in the entire world. I mean, that's mind-boggling. Number 2 in the world and number 1 in all of America. There was a recent study back in 2022 that Chicagoans lost 155 hours in a year sitting in traffic. Just let that permeate for a minute. 155 hours you're just sitting in traffic over a 12-month period. It's crazy. And then of course you got to layer in construction, you got to layer in pothole repairs, building bridges, repairing bridges. No matter what, there's always something going on. There's always going to be traffic and there's always going to be congestion. It is a part of life that you're going to have to live with if you want to be in Chicago. Con number 4, Chicago has high sales tax rates. In Chicago proper, the tax rate is 10.25%. Now that does include the 6.25% for the state, and it also sprinkles in a few other local taxes. Now, it is a high rate. I've seen higher. I've been to New York City and I've paid well over 13% in sales tax when making a purchase, but it is a hefty sum of cash to be paying out on every purchase that you're making. So it's also something you want to consider when you're moving out here. Con number 5 is parking. Chicago parking, it is a pain to find street parking. If you do find street parking, you've gotten lucky. And if you haven't, you're probably going to go in circles and circles trying to find a spot, or you're going to have to go wider route and kind of go outside of the area you're looking at to find a spot. And then you got the meters. So if you get lucky and you park in an area with no meters, that's kind of usually outside of this kind of downtown area. But if you're in the downtown, most likely you got meters. If you do not put money in your meter, you're going to get a ticket. And it's well over $100 if you're getting that ticket. So make sure you fill your meter. They have an app for it, so you can fill money in the app, and it does remind you when you're running low on time to re-up and put more money in the app. Please make sure that you put money in that app, so that way you don't get a hefty ticket, because you will get a ticket in Chicago. You'll see this beautiful orange piece of paper stuck on your windshield. You know you got a ticket. And the reality is, it's because it's a very dense city, right? Every neighborhood is dense. It's filled with a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of cars. There's going to be a lot of people fighting for spots. It's just the reality of the city. One of the other things you can do, you can rent a parking spot. They typically range anywhere from $150 to $300 a month for your own designated parking spot, and then you don't have to fight about worrying about trying to find a spot or squeezing in a spot too tight, or you're a little bit over the yellow line and you don't want to get a ticket, but you might get a ticket, but you have to park there. Yes, those things have happened, and they personally have happened to me when there's an emergency and I'm like, it's about 2 inches over the yellow line. I can maybe get away with it. I got a ticket. So you can get a spot for $150 to $300 a month, or you can also buy a spot, and those kind of come in pretty expensive too. I mean, especially downtown area, you're looking plus or minus $15,000 for a spot itself. You can always sell it down the road if you want. And the nice thing, if you are renting a spot, it's usually month to month. Ultimately, it's up to you. If you want the urban city life, Chicago offers it, and it offers it in plenty. If you want more of a relaxed environment, maybe you want a suburban life, well, make sure to click on the card above, because I go over a nearby suburb of Chicago that is a smaller city that will give you best of both worlds. You can literally hop on a train, be in the city in 40 minutes, and have all the hustle and bustle and fun that you want, and then you can head right back home. It's more of a relaxed suburban environment, but it has a really nice, robust downtown where you can still get a lot of entertainment and all the things that you're looking for. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.